the ultimate armor category is that this staircase right here, the fastest way of going up it is by continuously using Nova Strike on it. So ultimate armor actually thrives from this particular stair section from this level. It's really funny. You might have noticed that these health robots, these little aid robots, tend to spawn occasionally when the game thinks that X could use a little bit of assistance. Of course, I only choose to destroy those things for the health recoveries if I feel I need to. Otherwise, we can just ignore those. They're not important, really. I do believe Ultra Uberness told me this was his favorite level, and I can definitely see why. The amount of skill you can put into this vertical platforming is, without a doubt, something that just makes this level soar. Alright, let's see if I got this, because if I don't... Okay, we got it. So what you just saw me perform was a little trick where, by using the charged Rising Fire, and then combining it with a Nova Strike, I was able to avoid the camera trigger that forces the view to fully focus on the mini-boss's arena. And so, because the camera can still scroll, I can completely skip that boss fight. Which you may have seen Andrea take care of that boss when X was visiting Split Mushroom earlier in the run. So, let's just say that boss is a bit of a time waster, and Zero actually does have to fight it. But luckily, he does get his own little Shoryuken uppercut technique from Magma Dragoon, and that does shred a lot of the boss's health. So it's not bad per se, but compared to skipping the mini-boss outright, I think there's a reason why I prefer X's campaign more, just a bit. Of course, Zero, one of the biggest advantages to Zero is the Saber Dash canceling, which is also a really cool thing. And I totally messed up on the cool little swag trick, which really doesn't do much for you. It's just something to show that I could have went a little bit ahead of the elevator. It's not important, though. So now we get into our mushroom fight. I have my split nicknamed Car Ranger Dapu Mushroom, which, by the way, rest in peace to the Yellow Rangers actresses who sadly did pass away recently. But Dapu is the Rangers' side ally character, and his voice actress was also known for playing Split Mushroom, which I didn't fully recognize until I saw my first clip with Dapu. And I was like, wait, that's Mushroom. And so I did a little research, and yeah, turns out she didn't do a whole lot of voice acting, though, which is strange because I imagine she's still alive. And so I would have expected her to still be doing stuff, but I guess she just didn't. I don't know. But it's always nice to know that somebody that worked on a Sentai series also worked on one of my favorite franchises. Alright, so I've only got one Maverick left, and that, of course, is Cyber Peacock. How are you doing, Andrea?
I just realized that I have made a series of critical errors.
Oh no. What would that be?
I don't even know how to start. It's not
Do
good.
you think you can recover from it?
Oh, that remains to be seen. I'm
You know
still
what?
halfway through Walrus.
Well, I will keep my fingers crossed for you.
I will keep my fingers crossed for you to die as much as possible.
Well, we shall see what happens. I like to think that the late game is easily one of the biggest equalizers when it comes to just how gnarly things can sometimes go. Sigma especially. But yeah, we have Cyber Peacock stage, which is, I'd say, speedrunning incarnate when it comes to Area 1. You notice that I'm doing these trials that have a ranking at the end, and if you want to get all of the rewards that the game has to offer for it, you definitely want to get the S rank, because you saw that that's that's where the other sub-tank is located. So now I at least have the one. I guess if I wanted to do a revisit for Jet Stingray, I could, but I honestly don't feel like it. I don't know.
No, feel free. Go ahead. I don't mind.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, maybe I want to get a gold split on Spaceport.
No, those are overrated.
Another little interesting thing that you can skip is the helmet upgrade in the any percent route, but that's only if you really want to do that. And I've only really seen like Dante do it per se, maybe some of the other top level runners, which might sound a bit counterintuitive because for those that have played this game, you might recognize, wait, the helmet part gives you unlimited ammo for uncharged weapons. Why would you want to skip that? Well, if you're really concerned about optimizing your time, it only really wastes, like, just some time, so if you can pull off a little trick where you can use Web Spider's lightning web, you can jump over the point where the cutscene of Dr. Light explaining to X what the capsule has. You can skip that, and therefore you can also skip the helmet as well. And it has been proven that you really don't need that upgrade to beat the game, or beat the game fast per se, but yeah. I'm getting it anyway, because I can already imagine I will kind of sort of want it. Of course, the biggest obstacle for these time trials are that of the yellow orbs, which, if you get stuck in one, they will trap you for a pretty good amount of time, and if you take too long, you'll eventually rank down. So, an A rank is still enough to clear. A B rank means you have to try again. So, if you want to take an intentional B rank just because, I guess I can't blame you. That said, be prepared to wait for a long while for that to happen, because I cannot ever say I have gotten a B rank in my history of ever playing this.
I don't even know if it's possible to get a B rank on accident. Like,
and this isn't the first time we would see stages that try to test your might. Of course, shout out to Optic Sunflower in X8 later on. Alright, so I have taken out all the 8 Mavericks.
I'm on the Stingray transition.
You know what? I'm gonna go. You know, I'll take your advice. Let's go back to Stingray. Let's make this a little fun.
Don't mind
Why
if
not?
I do.
I will, however, have to skip a split in order to make this a little bit more friendly on my overall timing. Something's telling me why not. Alright, so I've gotten the life up this time, which is good. I do want to remind the audience that you can exit out of a stage you've already beaten. Some people might not know, though, that there is a way to exit out of the game entirely without having to reset your console. And how you do that is you go into the pause menu, and on the weapons screen you can press the select button, which the game will then give you a menu for continue or quit. And that's how you can get back to the title screen. I actually did not know this for a pretty long time. It's incredible, really. Alright, just getting back to where the sub-tank is. Ah, shoot. Okay. I'm gonna try for that one more time. I think I'm sacrificing the PB, though, for doing this.
Are you on PB pace?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, I can't really say for sure. I was already losing time anyhow, so... To say I had that in the bag is, like, non-existent.
Yeah, Schrodinger's PB.
It's weird because I have been getting a lot of gold splits throughout this entire run, and yet it's also because those are, like, my best splits for those splits. Alright, now we got the sub-tank.
I'm entering spaceport.
Alright, so I will catch up in just a moment. Alright, and now I will be entering spaceport. So Spaceport, this is one of the shortest late game levels of any X game, really. It's I'd even compare it to how Gunvolt levels in those video games have it, where the late game is like starting you off with a very short stage where I guess it's usually just you taking care of like a boss and that's it. The first game really has it short, so if you know, you know. But anyway, honestly though, Spaceport isn't too bad. Like, similar to how it is with Split Mushroom, the platforming here is kind of appreciated by the community. Like, if you get it really good, then it's one of those feel-good things despite how short the level actually is. But the real challenge, of course, is fighting Colonel again. So the reason that the whole Nova Strike trick worked for me during the first fight is because in the Memorial Hall, the walls were not actual walls. That's not the case here, so I can't quite do the same thing easily, but the invincibility frames resetting, that still applies, so you will see me do something a little different. He also has a few new moves up his sleeve. Energy Breaker! Alright, let's see you. Ah, dang it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about here. If you try to Nova Strike into a wall, it just gets canceled out. So I just wasted it, and that's especially bad because you know for a fact that the game will not give you a freebie just because it failed.
Yep. I am entering the next stage.
Okay. So that was a very funny way of me killing Colonel, where he just like teleported into the ice flow. That was funny. Alright, final weapon. This is just the name of the remaining levels altogether. The final weapon being this gigantic space base, which also acts as a giant laser cannon, which for some reason Reploforce was going to start their colony here of like a Reploid utopia or whatever the heck. Yeah, we're
the game.
Oh, actually, I never really thought too much about this song, but yeah, it's a fairly good song. Ugh. Anyway, here's Double. Wait, what? Ha 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 ha! You're gonna get hurt, X. So, you're probably wondering, how is it that our buddy from the stage select is suddenly fighting us? Well, see, your question is easily answered by the fact that his name is Double because he's a double agent. So, yeah. He's also got this nifty little transformation as well as a mercenary. And I died. Oops. Yeah, he does a lot of contact damage. The whole risky part about his fight is that we do want to supposedly be close to him, but when he spawns those drones, those do less damage, so that usually just makes the whole strategy easier. Ah, come on. I
popped a sub-tank on him, so...
No, that's not even it. I switched to aiming laser and it targeted him.
The worst.
Aiming laser is Cyber Peacock's weapon. If you get a single lock-on to anything with it, you can't switch out until the lock-on is over.
I just pause. I just take the fucking pause.
That's a very good point. There's a very funny little animation, though, if you kill him while he's in midair, because he's got that little falling thing going for him. Alright, so moving on, we are now jumping into the next part of Final Weapon, which, like I said, it's just going to be Final Weapon from here on out. There's a top pattern and a bottom pattern, top and bottom path. Most runners usually just go for the bottom one because it's the most consistent, but, your mileage may vary. Of course, using the hover boots as X makes this a little bit more manageable when you're, trying to get over that little bottomless pit there. But aside from that, yeah, it's a very, very short area, so I'm already a general, and now we are going to have a funny little moment where I'm just going to show one frame where Capcom made a typo, and for just that one moment, he was named General. I'm grateful that, Ultra Uberness brought my attention to it then.
My favorite boss, again, Ral?
Now, unfortunately, I did not get my favorite quote from him, but that's perfectly fine, because that also takes the most amount of time. You may have noticed that some bosses have intro lines where others do not, and that's actually the reason that runners optimally play on the English version of the game, because in Rockman X4, the bosses, all the Mavericks and all the bosses that have something to say, they will have something to say before the beginning of the fight. So by taking away that randomness of what line they could say, we are saving a lot more time than the Japanese version, ironically. So the whole general fight, by the way, his weak point is the head, his weakness was Twin Slasher. Just try to get him as many times as you can. If you can use your Nova Strike on him, then that's good. Otherwise, just try not to take too much damage to him. Alright, I'm gonna go into serious time as I start my refights with Web Spider.
Good luck.
Thank you. This is where I'm gonna show off that trick using the Nova Strike, where if it works, you're going to see something fantastic happen. So here we go. Come on. Come on. This should be good. Nope, that's not good. Okay, hang on. That failed. I'm definitely losing time for this. Ah, rats. Okay. So I missed. That's not happening, but I should at least say that Web Spider's weakness interaction with Twin Slasher is that if you get his butt connection between him and the lightning web, it will cause him to disconnect from the web and hit the ground, so at least I got to show that off. What I was trying to do was that because he can still take damage when he goes back to the top of the screen, you can use that with the Nova Strike, and he will just lose a lot of health. It's basically a similar principle to Storm Owl's Shield Break, which, now that I have the Nova Strike and Aiming Laser, you will see me do a easier variation of it once I take care of Dragoon. Yeah, a little unfortunate I couldn't do it for a Spider today, but it is a pretty hard one, and I did end up losing some time for it, so oh well. I should mention this is the final level, by the way. as compared to how some boss rushes happen, and then we have one level after that. But no, this is all the final showdown, baby.
Final weapon, Perrin's final?
Yeah, you're right. Dragoon will not have a extra thing to say this time because Dragoon is not the real deal. I do believe any time we have a boss refight, these are usually like fakes. So, yeah, nothing to be said here.
I think they confirmed that in like one of the games. I don't remember.
Well, they actually showcased that sort of thing, yes, in Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, which was the X1 remake for PSP. They actually had like a little interaction with the first one you do, which was Launch Octopus in that case. So, yeah. Alright, here comes Owl. So I mentioned that aiming laser is his weakness. You see the little weakness animation he has going right there. But then I'm going to set him up, and if I get him just right with my Nova Strike, if he can please get back to the top. He does not want to get back to the top. He knows what I'm doing.
Owls are smart.
Well, there we go. I got him anyway. Couldn't resist. Okay, next up. It's back to Frost Walrus for me. So now I'm going to attempt what I was supposed to be doing with his fight earlier on. Alright, that's better. Cool. Next up is going to be Slash Beast. And now we get to see what happens when you use his weakness against him. And it is glorious. And a fun fact about the charged variant is that when you fire the bigger Ground Hunter, you can also press up or down, and it will cause these little extra projectiles to shoot out in vertical directions. It's pretty cool. Also, Jet Stingray, with the intro dialogue in the text boxes, he's the only one to really acknowledge X, whereas every other Maverick is just like disregarding him. Or just saying general stuff. This game really, in terms of its story, this game really favors Zero a lot more. It's almost as if people say this game really was meant for Zero, and it's not hard to see why.
Yeah, he was cool at the time.
He still is, for sure. I mean, for him to have gotten his own sub-series.
Yeah, he's now tired of being the sidekick for Mega Man X.
Well,
it's a coup, really. It's an insurrection.
I mean, meta-wise, yes, but pretty sure Zero was never truly considering himself a hero material. If anything, he was always putting full stock into X. Oh, I died.
I'm like getting the health in between each fight because I have no faith in my abilities as a Mega Man speedrunner.
I would be too if I wasn't trying to. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I would be too, though. Yeah. I mean, this strategy is not all that hard. I was totally doing it wrong. But really, what you're seeing me do is. I'm stunning Split Mushroom when he's on the wall, and then shooting him again once he hits the ground because he has a vulnerability frame once that happens. And yeah, it's just easy as that. Okay, all that's left now is Stingray and Peacock. Now, you did see me use Frost Tower on Stingray just this one time. That was just to show that we prefer not to use his weakness on him because it has this invincible period, this little thing where he is encased in the ice and he cannot be damaged until he flies off the screen afterward and then flies back into the other side of the arena. Also, he can choose not to do one of his drone attacks and just immediately dive, so, that's always nice.
Yeah, the RNG is a lot less bad than in Zero, because in Zero you just want him to go down ASAP.
Admittedly, though, Zero has also got it pretty weird when it comes to weapons, or rather, in his case, the techniques, because some of the weaknesses are radically altered due to how just different things are. Some of the things he gets from beating some of the Mavericks aren't even attacks. Some of them are just buffs or extra actions like his double jump or air dash, or how one of them just gives him the purple saber, which adds more attack power to him.
The purple saber, I think, is just Shot Eraser, isn't it?
I think maybe that too. But either way, that does mean some of the Maverick weaknesses had to change, and so Web Spider is apparently the new weakness for Slash Beast, and even then, Zero doesn't get that little weakness reaction from him, so he does have to deal with Beast's aggressiveness.
Is Peter there, by the way?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that is good, because we are soon coming up to Sigma.
I'm on Sigma 3 at the moment.
Oh, snap. You actually might win this.
I hope.
Well, I just finished Peacock, so I'm gonna get right to Sigma right now. I think I may have sealed my fate. Unfortunate, but that's the way it runs sometimes.
You let me win with that revisit, so...
I know I did. But I also don't trust myself with the extra sub-tank sometimes, so I felt it was out of OCD.
That's fair.
Unfortunately, it's not even got an ounce of health in it right now anyhow, so... so much it ended up doing anyway. I will say time will not be on the final hit for Sigma, but it will be when we defeat him and then lose control of X, which is when General will appear for one last interaction. So I'm just gonna keep it a little quiet, and we'll see what happens from here. Oof. Okay, yeah, you're definitely winning this.
Thank you.
Oh well. You know what? This still wasn't a bad run for me if I was able to get some gold splits out of this.
Are you ready for your final
Yeah.
journey?
It's always fun playing Mega Man.
That too. I will say Reaper Sigma here, he can only be hurt by Rising Fire, so you have to use that. You have to use that no matter what, which is also probably why getting that helmet can be helpful in case you end up missing your charge fires.
59:36, not bad.
GG!
That was 20 seconds better than my D-Rust this morning.
Great job. Honestly, I feel perfectly fine with losing.
You let me win, so...
Yeah, I mean, well, yes and also no, but yes. Okay, now that I've taken care of round 2, I also realized I forgot to split on the Mavericks, so I now have that. I now have that taken care of. You are finished. Alright. So there are two forms of Sigma here. There's Earth Sigma, Gunner Sigma, and the respective weaknesses for each are Ground Hunter and Soul Body. What you're going to see me do is set up and hope he does not use... And he did it anyway. The reason we don't want him to use the end because it leaves him the least vulnerable. Meanwhile, that suck-up move of... Oh, dang it, I should have used my sub-tank. Alright, let's try this one more time. I think I can do this. Alright, here we go.
Are you ready for your final journey?
Well, at least I can explain things about round 1 and round 2. Particularly in round 2's case, in Uncloaked Reaper Sigma's case, we want that scythe to hit the wall because the boomerangs are by... Yeah, okay, you're gonna see that again. You can't destroy those boomerangs. Those things are gonna chase you. It is the most annoying thing. And I don't understand how I allowed that to happen just now, but I am ever so disappointed in myself for it. Oops, okay, that's not good. Alright, I will try to take this a bit cautiously.
You got it?
You did notice that with the final phase, though, we do get a little big health right there, so that's always nice. You do have to go through that dialogue, by the way, every single time. Alright, I'll start with that tank. So I did get to use it after all. And then, yeah, Ground Hunter. I always did like this boss theme. It's so cool. That's what I wanted.
It's really good.
Big thing to note about the Nova Strike is you can't use it with dash momentum. It has to be in any instance of a non-dash. If you're doing a momentum jump, it won't activate for some reason. It's always one of the very quirky and rough around the edges things about speedrunning this game, and often forgetting that's just how specific it is. Okay. I'm not taking any chances. I think I'm finishing this. Haha! Not if I have anything to say about it. Alright, Peter, get ready.
Alright.
Got him. Just before he disappeared. Okay. So, we got the explosion. The weapon's going to activate. We gotta make it into the next room to have our final conversation with General, and that is going to be time.
1 hour, 4 minutes, and 54 seconds.
Yep, that's what I see on my end, too. Funny thing about aiming laser is that you can still aim the reticle in the middle of this cutscene, which is hilarious.
I love doing that.
So yeah, there's that. And General has now sacrificed himself. So, unfortunately, the Rebel force has been, practically wiped out. And like I said, this whole conflict of them being brainwashed by Sigma could have easily been avoided if Colonel had just listened. But hey, this is still a very fun game to speedrun. I highly recommend it, and if anybody watching this wants to try it for themselves, go to the Mega Man X speedrunning Discord community. We have a bunch of runners that'd be happy to teach you a thing or two, myself included, and you can find the link to such on the Mega Man Leaderboard's website, where we have a About tab with all of the community server links available for y'all. And yeah, it's a good day for Mega Man, especially considering today is also coincidentally the launch date for the Switch VC versions of the classic Game Boy games, which I am super excited about. So,
Oh yeah.
big shout out, and many thanks to Capcom for doing that. And here's hoping we'll see Extreme 1 and 2 as well in pretty soon. Yeah, thanks for having me, Peter.
Alright. Oh, we're gonna go raid someone. Marathon's over. Let's go raid someone.
Yep. Let's go raid somebody. Take care, everyone.
Alright.
Thank you for the raids. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Alright, let's raid this Ape Escape Runner.
Alright, I am peacing out.
No, his name's like
Goodbye,
coming
everyone.
waves
Have
sometimes.
a great rest of your day.
You as well.